It is the 10th of June 2022. A very good evening and welcome to UBC News Tonight. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha with Semunyo Yusuf on sign language. Let's take a look at our top stories of the day. In UBC News Tonight, President Museveni conveys best wishes to new Somalia President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud. Still to come, border riders in Kampala warned against missing registration deadline of the 30th of this month. NEMA, sister agencies in spotlight for demolishing Butabika Hospital Village in Nakawa Division. And Gulu hosts more than 200 Special Olympics athletes. A very good evening once again and welcome to UBC News Tonight. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha with Yusuf on sign language. In our top stories of the day, President Yoweri Museveni has conveyed best wishes to President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud of Somalia for successfully making it as the 10th president of presidency of the federal government of Somalia. Now, in his message delivered by President's Special Envoy, Right Honorable Mama Mbabazi, President Yoweri Museveni reaffirmed to the people of Somalia continued friendship and sympathetic interest from the Ugandan government.
President Yoweri Museveni has applauded his Somali counterpart President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud for successfully making it as the 10th president of the Presidency of Federal Government of Somalia. President Museveni, in his message delivered by the Presidential Special Envoy Right Honorable Mama Mbabazi, reiterated continued friendship from the Ugandan government with the people of Somalia.
Asked me to convey to you his best wishes for your success as you prepare to take up the responsibilities and the challenges of the high office you hold now.
President Museveni promised good working relations with President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud to develop closer relations between the two countries and to unite for peace and brotherhood of both countries.
As you embark on your new responsibilities, President Museveni wishes to assure you and the people of Somalia of the continued friendship and sympathetic interest of the Ugandan government and people.
In his inauguration speech, President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud re-echoed his slogan, Somalia at peace with itself and the world. He promised true, wide reconciliation among Somalis, cooperation with the international community on security, democratic system that allows a universal right to vote, fair and independent judiciary, and appealed for support in response to drought to avoid famine, among others.
Soomaaliyeed meel kasto ay joogaan isla markaana saldhig u ah himilooyinka iyo tiigsiyada shacabkeena sharafta leh ay tiigsanayaan ama ku aaminayaan in ay ahaadaan dal dimuqraadiyaddu ay ka hirgashay.
Uganda's Minister for Defense and Veteran Affairs, Vincent Sempija, stated that Uganda's defense sector is very proud that the people of Somalia and the federal government of Somalia have been able to have a peaceful transition.
The peaceful transfer of power from one leader, Mr. Famayo, to the new president, President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, is really a testimony that we have not wasted our time in this place.
Uganda's Deputy Ambassador to Somalia, Ambassador Major General retired Nathan Mugisha, stated that the inauguration of Hassan Sheikh Mohamud is a sign of hope and a vote of confidence.
A new team assigned with new mandate. So that is a very good step as far as democracy is concerned.
PDF, which is part of ATMIS, it is a stabilization force. We play a support role. We came here in 2007 when things were really very bad in so many of our states, as you know.
Right, Honorable Amama Mbabazi, the Presidential Special Envoy, led Uganda's delegation to the inauguration ceremony of President Sheikh Hassan Mohamud. President Sheikh Hassan Mohamud was elected into office on May 2022. Uganda was the first country to deploy troops to Somalia in March 2007 and remains the leading troop contributing country to AMISOM, now transformed into African Transition Mission Somalia.
Well, congratulations to President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud. Moving on from that, the 12th East African Community Armed Forces Field Training Exercise, codenamed Ushirikiano Imara 2022, has been concluded at Junior Command and Staff College, Jinja. Now, that was the name, but the closing ceremony was graced by the first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Affairs, Honorable Rebecca Kadaga, who represented the President.
The regional military training exercise, codenamed Ushirikiano Imara, has been concluded at Junior Command Staff College, Jinja. The armed forces of Burundi, Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan and Tanzania joined the hosts Uganda People Defense Forces UPDF for 14 days and conducted civic and military exercise in Busoga sub-region.
This exercise has armed forces and civilian security.
A total of 1,533 participants of the armed forces, police and civilian components took part in the activities. The exercise director, Major General Nabasa, said they achieved the mission and objective of the exercise.
Successfully achieved the above mentioned objectives. Alongside the said objectives, we have also undertaken some civil military cooperation projects as a way of giving back to the community. And these include construction of a 2-classroom block at Usube Primary School in Jinja District.
Major General Robert Chanda, the Joint Chief of Staff, who represented the Chief of Defense Forces, said the exercise meant to train participants in conduct of peace, security and support operations.
We need to continue working together to combat security challenges of armed groups and terrorists, proliferation of small arms, transnational crime like cattle rustling, piracy, famine, and others facing the region. Therefore, the knowledge and skills acquired from this joint training will go a long way to help us come up with appropriate solutions
translate into threats to the socio-economic, cultural and political well-being of the people of East Africa. These threats range from natural to man-made disaster, poverty and disease, porous borders, proliferation of small arms and light weapons. And these dangers are, of course, to human life and development cannot be underestimated.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the East African community member states for their contribution and participation in this year's exercise.
The guest of honor, First Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Affairs, Honorable Rebecca Kadaga, who represented President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, commended the participants for the integration.
I believe the military training you have received will enhance your capacity to effectively cope with the rapidly changing technology and response to global and regional security threats.
Kadaga thanked President Museveni for the visionary efforts of the East African community.
As a combined force, we will continue with the same spirit in joint training exercise for peace support operations to deal with global and transnational security threats. As you are aware, the UPDF has built on the spirit of nationalism. It has been at the forefront of national restoration. The NRA solved 4 problems for Uganda. Uganda has been proud to host you, and we look forward to hosting you again. And I now have the pleasure to declare the EAC Armed Forces Field Training Exercise closed. Thank you very much for God and my country.
In attendance were defense ministers, CDFs, Representatives of the armed forces, East Africa Community Members of Parliament, ambassadors, defense liaison officers, and other dignitaries. Haruna Mutesasira reporting for UBC News in Jinja.
Thank you so much, Haruna Mutesasira. In more stories, the family of Uganda's former president, Yusuf Children, wants national heroes to be celebrated while alive, a gesture they appreciate the current government for doing. Dr. Ntwatwa Lule, a dental surgeon, appreciates government for recognizing his late father with a full road named after him in Kampala, capital city. Both Ntwatwa and his sister, Jen Nakafero Lule, were part of the celebrations to mark National Heroes Day on Thursday.
This is Yusuf Children Road, one of the stretches that make up the road infrastructure in Kampala city. It was named after former president of Uganda, Yusuf Children. The former head of state is graciously remembered in Uganda, something his family appreciates.
It's always nice to be remembered, and I'm sure my late father is happy where he is, being remembered.
However, they want this kind of recognition done, at least when the beneficiaries are still alive.
The government of Uganda today has shown that by actually giving out medals to quite a number of people. So definitely they have been appreciated, and I'm sure they are enjoying it.
Dr. Ntwatwa Lule, who was in company of his sister, Jen Nakafero Lule, downplayed any political ambitions, preferring to cling onto his profession.
I think there are enough people who are in politics. The country isn't run by politics alone. There are other things that run the country as well.
Jen Nakafero, on the other hand, does not rule out a possibility of joining politics.
Obviously, being a daughter of a former president, however short it was, I'm very aware, and I've had close view of what it involves. Very big. It's not something that I've even considered getting that big, but I would definitely like to participate in our country.
The duo was part of celebrations to mark National Heroes Day. They joined others in laying wreaths on the fallen heroes.
It's great for us as a family to be able to celebrate our father, and for us to get recognition on his behalf. That's why, we took out the time to come and spend time here. And it's also very nice to see that a lot of other people come and face recognition as well as heroes.
Now back in the country for good, Nakafero, who has been living in London, joins her brother Dr. Ntwatwa, ending decades of living apart from each other. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Well, thank you so much, Henry Okrut, for that story. In more news, government has highlighted its interventions that will help curb the increasing number of street children and unlawful child labor, which will strengthen education skills and services for children and families in Uganda. Now, this as Uganda joins the rest of the world to celebrate World Day Against Child Labor. What's happening?
The age of 12, and the Ugandan National Child Labor Policy disallows practices that subject children to worst forms of child labor. It's against this backdrop that the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development has renewed its strength in eliminating the vice.
Stepping up labor inspection and enforcement of labor standards to ensure compliance with the laws against child labor, and carrying out advocacy and awareness raising on the dangers and consequences of child labor. Introduction of the wealth creation programs of government has introduced increased funding to wealth creation programs such as Operation Wealth Creation, the parish development model which has already been launched, and the special grants for the elders and people with disabilities, among the others. These programs have laid a foundation for increased household income, which will economically empower families drastically in eradicating poverty and stop children from involving in child labor.
According to a 2021 Uganda National House Survey conducted by Uganda Bureau of Statistics, around 14% of Uganda's children aged 5 to 17 are engaged in child labor. This has triggered a great number of street children who have abandoned education, hence calls for interventions to keep children in school.
The government already has put in centers all over the regions to try to rehabilitate and vocational training. We are starting with 100 young people in all of these centers so that they can get a skill and maybe later earn some living from that skill. But we are putting in mechanisms of getting those who are involved. There's already an investigation to know which NGOs are using children to do labor and be street beggars, and at the end of the day, the children don't even benefit from the money. We shall manage to make the children leave the streets by handling those people who are responsible for bringing them to the streets, those NGOs which are responsible for bringing them to streets, and that's something that brings both national and local government.
The policy and legal framework will aid local governments supported by the Ministry of Gender in reducing the 36% rate as of 2020 who are involved in worst forms of child labor and eliminate the number of children on the streets of Kampala and other urban centers. Joshua Kagoro, Stephen Kalisha, UBC News.
The Uganda Chapter Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative has released its maiden report, Findings in Uganda's Oil and Mineral Resources Sector, with a recommendation to government to be more transparent and publish all minerals and oil contracts so that they are made known to the public. Now, the report is the first of its kind ever since Uganda was admitted to the global Oslo-based Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative in August 2020 as the 54th member state.
In January 2019, Cabinet took a decision for Uganda to join the Oslo-based Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, a global standards body for good governance of oil, gas and mineral resources. After Uganda's admission to the global body in August 2020 as its 54th member state, the Uganda Chapter Secretariat of the same initiative has today released its maiden findings and recommendations for the sector at Kampala Sheraton Hotel. The report, among others, highlights a contribution of $436.3 million as a tax revenue from the sector collected by Uganda Revenue Authority, with a GDP contribution of 1.6%, registering a decline from 1.72% in the previous financial year. The report further calls upon government to make public disclosures regarding the contracts and licenses for people engaged in the sector, as well as calling for the centralized data system regarding the exports of mineral in future.
So this report is to adhere to the EITI standard, of which Uganda is now a member of the EITI International Organization. And so as a member, it is a requirement to produce an annual report that describes the progress in the extractive sector.
Presiding over the event, State Minister for Minerals Peter Lokeris said the report is timely and that government will go by its findings and recommendations since Uganda is already a signatory to the global body.
Then we shall be assessed now, tomorrow, using those pillars. This one we did well, this one granted, and now we have just gone.
Philippe Grotti, Total Energies Uganda boss, John Bosco Bucha of Uganda Association of Artisanal and Small-Scale Miners, and Winfred Ngabirwe, Global Rights Alert, commented on the report findings.
A very important step today with the launch of this first report to EITI. It is the result of a joint effort between private sector, between government and civil society.
Much as we appreciate government recognition, but also request government not only to stop on paperwork recognition through the law, the enactment of the laws, through the usual talks about artisanals and small-scale miners, but we request government to come up with a program that will support the participation of Ugandans.
So most importantly, that we are not under-declaring our production, because if we are under-declaring our production, that impacts on the revenues that we are able to get.
The report mainly concentrated on mineral resources, since Uganda is set to see its first refined oil on the market in 2025, according to Minister Lokeris. Story compiled by Edward Collins Juko for UBC News.
Still in UBC News tonight, UN agencies in partnership with government have launched a development Nexus program that aims at phasing out the handout approach for their and sustainability to championing a business model that's geared at improving their lives holistically. Take a look.
There is a world leader in refugee policy, and the world has its attention on the country with great admiration. The continued influx of refugees and a funding gap greater than 80% poses difficulties to provide basic humanitarian aid to the immigrants. More and more new arrivals suffer a deficiency and lack of basic resettlement amenities, including shelter, food, and access to necessary healthcare services and education. It is said that 48% of the refugees are living below the poverty line. As a wolf covering the funding gap, UN agencies have launched a development Nexus program to phase out the handout approach for their unsustainability, to championing a business model that's geared at improving their lives holistically.
Our role is to expose them to the opportunities that they have, to unlock the environment into which they are surrounded in, and say these are the opportunities that exist, and when they take up those opportunities, then they can live. Rather than expecting that when they see a UN agency coming in, they should be giving them food, they should be giving them just a handout, which they end up eating, and at the end of the day, they still live within their vulnerability.
The Refugee Development Nexus program is targeting refugees from Chegegwa, Ajumani, Yumbe, and Terego.
You cannot meet your food, you cannot take your children to school, you cannot access the decent kind of basic medical health services, and so you are vulnerable to different kinds of intersecting challenges around your life. And
the program is looking at how girl children are going to benefit from it through its access to counseling, policies, and as well as create employment opportunities for them to boost their livelihoods.
Giving and handing over, and only giving, we also need them empowered to be able to have livelihoods. Of the refugees, the highest population we have is of women and girls.
The situation analysis shows 1,053,598 of the refugees in Uganda are from South Sudan, 276,570 are from DRC, 40,497 from Burundi, and 37,193 from Somalia. Others are from Rwanda, Eritrea, and Ethiopia. Shaidat in Nasaku, UBC News.
Now moving on from that, organizers of Lieutenant General Muhoozi Kainerugaba Kiruhura Rushere Sports Gala have confirmed that the event is still on as planned earlier and can next Tuesday on the 14th of June. All roads will be heading to Kiruhura District. According to Jotham Tademwa, the head publicity organizing committee, despite calls for postponement of the event by a section of members of parliament, consensus has been reached to have the event on that day. Take a look.
The thing is too wide. Yeah.
On Wednesday this week, Team Chairman Michael Kaguta alias Toyota convened a meeting of members of parliament from Western Uganda ahead of the MK Sports Gala due in the area.
This time when we were trying to change the function from fifth, it costed us as leaders.
With the national budget reading scheduled for next week on Tuesday 14th June 2022, majority of members of parliament had proposed the postponement of the Kiruhura Rushere Sports Gala, which is programmed on the same date.
Another excellence that is coming tomorrow is the other side. It will be a big blow.
This having aired on our different media platforms, it has received mixed reactions.
What was running on UBC last night was a shock to us, but unfortunately it was a report or an opinion of what somebody gathered in one of the meetings. Or people were not even concerned with our district. These are Mbarara people, they were planning for the Mbarara people, and they gave their opinion on what they thought about 14th. But I want to assure you that it doesn't amount to stopping or postponing or changing our date. I want to assure you and everybody that our function will continue, and we are going ahead with preparations, and we are ready. No postponement. Our chief guest is coming.
It has now been stated loud and clear that the event is on.
We had planned to have this event on the 22nd of May. Then it was changed to the 5th of May. Then it was confirmed for the 14th. So when you keep changing and people lose hope and lose morale. And we all looked at that, including our leaders, the members of parliament, and acknowledged that a further change would affect our preparations, would affect the morale on the ground, because people are eagerly waiting to join General MK on that day as they celebrate his homecoming.
According to Jotham Taremwa, publicity secretary for the Kiruhura MK event, this is a decision arrived at after wide consultations.
The president is the fountain of honor, okay? And the national budget reading is a very important event for the country. When we sat with our members of parliament and discussed, we agreed that it was important that they attend that function first. Then after the function, they can join us. So there is nothing like undermining. No. We love our president. We support our president. And we agreed that it is important for them, because some of us are not invited for the event. But
according to this team, the chief guest, who happens to be Commander Land Forces UPDF, Lieutenant General Mhos Kainerugaba, having confirmed his participation, there could be no other alternative other than effecting their program.
When he communicated, General MK communicated, he gave us the 14th of this month. Thereafter, we got information from our members of parliament that 14th of the same month is going to be the budget reading, and they would love to attend the budget reading as well as participate in the event that we have organized, the tournament.
Many members of parliament had proposed the postponement of the event to allow them be part of the budget proceedings, since the two events would collide. The MK Sports Gala will see 10 districts including Isingiro, Lyantonde, Kazo and Impara among others showcase their capabilities through football and other games. Robert Nyangu, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Robert Onyango. The clarification is that the MK event, Sports Gala, is still on the 14th of June. Moving on from that, border operators in the Central Business District of Kampala have up to the 30th of June 2022 to register to enable streamlined operations of the sector. Now, the registration is aimed at identifying them, understanding how they operate, and training them for purposes of lawful operations. State Minister for Kampala Metropolitan Affairs, Kabuye Chofa, says 40,000 borders have so far responded, calling on others to do the same. Details follow.
They are really patient, yet they are many in number, often competing for space with taxis on the road. As a way of harmonizing their operations, a registration exercise was embarked on early this year, 2022. In this registration, the authorities weigh and are still looking at 3 aspects.
We wanted to document them so that we know them. Then we wanted also to understand where they are operating from. Then eventually we wanted to train them. Good enough, I thank the borders who have responded, and indeed a bigger number has come. And I think we have about 40,000 who are registered by yesterday.
These transport operators have up to 30th June 2022 to have done this exercise or risk unbearable consequences. The deadline, which comes in 3 weeks' time, was last extended 6 months ago.
So at exactly 11:59 p.m. the following at 000 hours on 1st July, I want to assure you, you'll have had time with me.
But what exactly is this registration seeking to solve? And what makes this intervention different from other previous attempts? Kabuye Chofa Togabye is the State Minister for Kampala Metropolitan Affairs.
These days, out of every 10 accidents which occurs a day, 8 of them are border. So I call upon my border brothers and sisters. Incidentally, I met ladies who are riders. Please go and adhere to what we told you, because most of the concerns we've discovered the accident is as a result of poor and not understanding the proper use of the road.
Upon successful registration, all border riders operating in the 5 divisions of Kampala will be given identification jackets. These will be unique to each division, as well as QR codes and their pictures well displayed on their backs for easy identification. Henry Okrut, UBC.
We're still going with UBC News Tonight, even if it's just 31 minutes past 8 p.m. Now, residents of Butabika Hospital Village in Nakawa Division want government agencies that worked with opportunists and demolished their shelters to be brought to book. They accuse environmental bodies of not issuing any warnings and carrying out sensitization meetings before the action.
Early this week, the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, with other sister agencies, demolished a village in an exercise allegedly aimed at reclaiming a wetland.
But for them, they think it is free land. They come and just occupy. So there is no compensation as far as when we evict you from this wetland.
UBC visited Hospital Village Butabika in Nakawa Division, where we found residents sleeping in unshit shelters with their families.
We had women and kids around. We had to at least request neighborhoods to accommodate them. But with the men, we gather around here starting from 7 p.m. up to 7 a.m.
These are protesting the manner in which the demolition operation was conducted.
Government can't use thugs to break people. The government can't hire thugs. A government can't cut tree. Look at the sugar cane, look at banana plantation and everything.
The village leadership demands compensation to residents.
We need compensation our people. Then my family is now suffering. I don't have where to put them. We are now suffering like that, sleeping outside, nowhere to sleep.
Then the other phase will handle Banda and the other area around up to the lower minister's village. Working with the other stakeholders, we are telling these people that if you are still within our boundaries, which we have, which are clear, they should start planning to leave.
Residents are seeking attention from the State House Anti-Corruption Unit for redress.
We need the leaders of this, of our area, the leader of our area, to take these people every office to know each and everything what happened here.
At least 10,000 residents are expected to be affected by this operation of wetland clearing by the Ministry of Water and Environment in Hospital Village Butabika, Nakawa Division. Abdul Nasir Lubwama and Insamba Juma, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Abdul Nasir Luwama. Now, more than 6 people have died on spot a few minutes ago when a commuter taxi registration number UAW 98777 was involved in a fatal accident at the subway along Nile Avenue adjacent to UBC premises. The cause of the accident is yet to be established. Well-wishers, especially border cyclists, rushed to the scene to rescue some of the occupants. Police is currently at the scene to retrieve those still stuck in the wreckage.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello, this is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Congratulations, congratulations. Oh, one good day.
Good day? But I haven't entered any competition.
Owadechi, since you use your phone every day, we have randomly selected you as one of our loyal customers, and you have won a brand new pickup.
Hey, so how do I get this pickup?
The pickup is in Namave. All we have to do is quickly bring it to you. You know, we are delivering many of them. So, just send us 100k for fuel via mobile money and we'll bring it to you.
But Chief, I'm in no hurry to receive it. Namambe is just here. Keep it at your warehouse, give me directions and I will get time to pick it up.
Vow nawe. If you don't have money, just say.
Tonfera. Never send money to strangers. Winners of competitions are contacted through official channels and are never asked to pay for anything. Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tonfera. Refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by UCC, MTN, Airtel, Bank of Uganda, and NPSP Association.
Are you a player in the tourism sector with a struggling business following the COVID pandemic? UDB, in partnership with European Union, is providing financial assistance to businesses operating in the tourism sector. You can access subsidized loan with grants, loan with a tenor of up to 5 years, free business advisory services, and free environmental impact assessment. Visit www.udbl.co.ug/call for applications to apply. Deadline for submission is 31st October 2022 at 5 p.m. For more information, please call 0414 355 509.
Fellow citizens, thank you for diligently and consistently honoring your tax obligations. It is through your collective contribution that the government is able to provide social services. In spite of the simultaneous global crises that have hit our livelihoods and businesses, you have proven that as a people, we can rise up and still mobilize domestic revenues enough to sustain us as a country. As we close in to the end of this financial year, I urge you not to lose the momentum and resilience that you have demonstrated all year through. Please file your returns and remit your taxes in time to avoid unnecessary inconveniences that come with non-compliance. As Uganda Revenue Authority, we are committed to facilitate you in honoring your obligations through a reliable and delightful service. I invite you to use our various e-platforms to remit your tax contributions with ease and on time. We have extended all our working hours at all our border stations, the bonded warehouses, and service centers. Should you need further assistance, please contact us via our toll-free lines and our WhatsApp platforms. Tax is the surest way of liberating our country from the bondage of economic dependence. Let us all play our part, pay our dues, and develop our country. For God and my country.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Bannayuganda, ku Lwokubiri nga 14 ogw'omukaaga 2022, minisita avunaanyizibwa ku by'ensimbi n'okuteekerateekera eggwanga waakwanja embalirira y'ebyensimbi y'omwaka 2022-2023 eri eggwanga. Biki ebyo ebyenkizo era ebiruubirirwa ebirina okusibwako essira mu mbalirira y'omwaka guno? Okumanya ebikwata ku mbalirira ya guno omwaka egenda okusomebwa nga 14 ogw'omukaaga 2022 okutandika ku ssaawa 8 ez'emisana, tega era owulirize emikutu gy'amawulire gyonna mu ggwanga. Embalirira yaffe buvunaanyizibwa bwaffe. Obubaka buno bukutuusibwako Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, Ministry y'ebyensimbi n'okuteekerateekera eggwanga wamu ne banywanyi baabwe.
The Oil and Gas Moment, brought to you by Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey. Uganda's oil and gas resources are located within pristine environments. The oil and gas activities are benchmarked on Uganda's updated environment legislation and on the international best practice standards in order to continuously ensure coexistence between the oil activities and Uganda's rich biodiversity. This is being achieved using improved technology to reduce environmental footprint, mapping of sensitive ecological features for avoidance, improving standards of waste management and development and implementation of tools for environment management. These include the Albertine Graben Environment Monitoring Plan, Strategic Environmental Assessment, various environmental sensitivity atlases, and the National Oil Spill Contingency Plan, among others. For more information, visit www.pau.go.ug. Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. We still continue with UBC News Tonight. And in more stories, some politicians have expressed fear that the rate at which the country is attaining graduates has surpassed the capacity for the economy to absorb them in the job market. The fear was expressed by Buikwe constituency Member of Parliament, Michael Ulume Baiga, during the second graduation ceremony of Kaiwa International University held on Friday here in Kampala.
That Chancellor, the academic team, you're all very welcome.
A big number of students have attained diplomas, bachelor's degrees, masters and doctorates in disciplines that include business administration and management, information technology, education and humanities, theology and integrated studies during the second graduation ceremony of Kaiwa International University.
This therefore calls for our mature behavior. To be mature means accepting responsibilities. Let us go to the world and be exemplary, active, creative, honest, and eager to learn more from others, especially experienced professionals.
We find that average can achieve greatness, whether recognized by the world or by the few. Remember that to leave a legacy or to achieve greatness is not to have money or recognition, but to live with whom we cross the path with a little happiness and hope.
However, some politicians think the rate at which people in the country are attaining degrees has surpassed the economic capacity to give them jobs.
We have more unemployed graduates because in a normal setting we should be having positions prepared for our graduates to occupy, make money and build the economy. We are able to do that.
Professors also think that education should help Uganda and other countries to stop violence and conflicts accruing from their religious and political orientations in order to ensure a world of noble people.
Some of these will be highly respected institutions like churches, also run afoul of the laws of the country, and also political parties, and they run afoul of the laws of spiritual guidance and the rest of the world, that we pursue peace, unity, and civilized debate to violence, as opposed to violence and perpetual hate of one another.
The achievements by the graduates of 2020, 2021 and 2022 class of Kaiwa International University have been attributed to persistence amidst challenges of COVID-19 pandemic.
Successful, you must relentlessly seek ways to continue when times are hardest, when obstacles seem insurmountable or endless, and moving forward seems impossible, fruitless, too difficult or cumbersome. Persistence is as important as your academic achievement.
Pastors from various church ministries were awarded with certificates and accolades. I'm Navka Farida in Kampala.
Well, congratulations to all the graduates from Kaiwa University. In more stories, a section of government-sponsored students from Mercury University Friday morning demonstrated against the university's decision to disburse 50% of their living out allowance. Students note that they said that the allowance is little to cater for their needs during these hard economic times.
Friday morning, a section of Mercury University students demonstrated against what they called unfair disbursement of the living out allowance for government-sponsored students.
My request is the university should make it the necessary arrangements and clear students' allowances. This business of saying we shall first clear a half is totally not acceptable.
As such, they threatened to continue striking should the university fail to listen to their grievances.
But it seems like they're not willing to listen. So we are giving them an ultimatum of just this weekend that if they do not give us our allowance full, because we don't want to hear issues of 50% of our, because 50% that is like 380. But if you look at 380, my own hostel is like 600.
We want our allowance either today or next week, because these people, the only way they know is by violence. For us, we are not so violent, but if you want us to be violent, we can't do that.
They know that the university wants to allocate them 50% of their government living out allowance, which is not sufficient during these hard economic times.
We all know
Now the cheapest hostel, the average hostel in around Mercury is 600,000 Ugandan shillings. Yet the money for rent they give us is 300,000 Ugandan shillings. How do they expect us to live in such hostels?
The students also accused the university of running 3 semesters in 1 year, which has stretched them economically in terms of hostel fees.
Around Mercury University, because today morning I engaged the university bursar. The university bursar said they would clear a half of the students' allowances. That is something that is totally unacceptable. Because one, the university would not come up with this kind of academic program if they knew they had no money to facilitate government students.
Before joining this semester, they didn't promise us that payments are going to be effected immediately as the semester begins. We have operated in an abnormal situation, conducting 3 semesters in 1 year. And we are paying rent 12 months, which has never happened at Mercury University. And it's of a sad note that the university sat and reached a resolution of paying 50% of food and living out allowances without engaging us, the major stakeholders of this institution.
Omaria Emma Oitebe, president of Mercury University Students Association, accused the university for issuing suspensions and warning letters to students whenever they fight for what rightfully belongs to them.
Have waka, you pass the ice through me about my waka. Now come and see for yourself, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo. Jambola be waka, look at you waka, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo.
Show them waka with MTN Momo Nyabo. Simply deposit 20k or more on your mobile money for a chance to win 3 Toyota Succeeds and money to 2,000 lucky winners every week. We're giving away 24 cars and over 2 billion shillings of mobile money.
What the book packages, great entertainment,
Sports, the local content, telenovela, the movies.
There is something for everybody.
Go TV, this is where great stories live.
Get the best entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Uganda shillings per month. GoTV, great stories, Zidiwano. GoTV Uganda, love it.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. In our business stories, Chinese investors in Kachiri Town Council are appealing to government to urgently fix the electricity challenge in their area of operation. They blame the unstable power supply for inefficient operations, idleness of workers, and destruction of machines.
These 2 factories set up by the Chinese investors in Kachiri Town Council are praised for transforming livelihoods through providing jobs for the community. Sky Pipes Plastic Enterprise and Zonkai Electronics manufacture products for the local and regional market.
We're exporting around East Africa. That's our main market. Kenya, Congo, South Sudan. We hope to again do business with Rwanda, currently Egypt.
But there are concerns from the investors and they are seeking the intervention of the Minister of Energy. Unreliable and unstable power supply to the factories is not only affecting production but also causing idleness among workers.
When power goes off about 6 to 8 days a month, that's a lot of time. You're looking at people not working when power is off. You're looking at machines getting short circuits. So all those are challenges that we've been facing. But apparently, we've been given a positive response, and we believe results will be good. Yeah.
To help address the challenge, Ruth Nankabirwa, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, has ordered for a diagnosis of the power distribution line within a week.
What is the problem? Is the line very old? Do we need new transformers? What is the problem? I thought that I will have my technical team here.
The feedback is expected to inform the next course of action.
Unreliable. That is something that the ministry can come up in spontaneously to solve this problem. So I am here to acquaint myself with the problem of unreliability of power. What is wrong with the line that is supplying them? What can we do? As we prepare to distribute power at 5 cents, can we see the power that they are using, however expensive it is, can we see that power being reliable?
She also encouraged the investors, especially Zonkayu Electronics, who produce timber products, to invest significant resources in biodiversity conservation and tree planting. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
Well, thank you so much for watching UBC News Tonight from 8 to 57 minutes to 9 p.m. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha, joined by Yusuf on Sign Language. Do join us again at 10 p.m. for more news coming your way. Have a lovely night. Bye-bye.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network. On UBC, the program that helps you identify opportunities for investment, job creation, growing your entrepreneurial skills, wealth creation, and social transformation.
We have a product that is ready for schools, supermarkets.
Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Every week, we showcase opportunities for creating